TLEV Media, bringing the magic of the theme parks to your home.
From vlogs to interviews, TLEV Media is entertainment for all.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to TLEV Media. And today we have an amazing video for you guys. Today we're going to go over the brand new video that Santa Clarita Drone has dropped for us. That pretty much goes over everything that's happening at Universal Studios Hollywood right now. But before that, I want to give a huge shout out to Santa Clarita Drone. You know, without their video, this video would not have been possible. So huge shout out to them. If you guys want to check out the original video, I'll put the link down in the description below. So definitely check that out. Yeah, just giving credit where credit is due. But yeah, so in this video we're gonna go over that video. I've got a few stills of the entire video. I'm gonna throw them up on the screen so we can pretty much talk about them, and I'll give you guys pretty much everything that I can see from the video and kind of explain what's going on. But yeah, so why don't we just jump right into that. But before we do, please hit that like button to let us know that you guys you know, are excited for Universal to be open again. Let us know down in the comments just like how you're feeling about all the stuff that's going on. Definitely, we really want to know what's happening with you guys and your guys' thoughts about Universal Studios and this whole closure and stuff like that. Are you guys excited for the parks to be open? Let us know. So yeah, we're gonna jump right into this video. I'm gonna throw up some of the images like I said. So yeah, first things first, let's jump right into Jurassic World. So first off, we're gonna get this really nice overview of the Jurassic World area. I mean, man, I miss the parks. I mean, just looking at this video, it brought back so many, like, it just made me really happy. It brought back a lot of memories of just being at the parks and just having a good time. But from this picture, we do see that the biggest thing is that there is water inside Jurassic World. That's new. It's new because the past videos that Santa Clarita Drone has done, the ride has been empty. There hasn't been any water inside of the ride for quite a while. It did rain a couple months ago, like last month, something like that, and Jurassic World did fill up a little bit, but I mean that's just probably rainwater. They drained that out, but this is water that Universal has put inside of Jurassic World. Although from the look of this picture, you can see that the water line isn't where it's supposed to be. You can see where like they would normally fill it up and like where it is right now. They probably did that just because they're probably running some tests on the ride and they just need the water to, you know, obviously make sure that the ride is fully operational. Not that it wouldn't be, but like, you know, just run tests, make safety precautions and stuff like that, just to make sure that the ride is running at full capacity so that when you know, Universal opens back up, we can use Jurassic World again. Something else I did want to point out in this shot, you can see that over here by Isla Nublar, you can actually see social distance markers on the floor. They're kind of hard to see, but yeah, they are there. Universal is getting ready for their reopening, and you can even see over at the Mummy Treats area, they also have social distance markers. I'm assuming the Starbucks also does as well as the Panda and the ice cream stop there, but it's kind of hard to see in this video. Yeah, but I'm assuming they all have social distance markers, and it's really exciting to see that Universal is getting ready for their reopening. Alright, next up we've got another view of the Jurassic World area. This is kind of the ride queue, as I would call it. You can see obviously like the playpen, and we can actually see that the ride vehicles are docked at the beginning of the ride. Again, like I said, they probably filled up the inside of Jurassic World to run some tests, and that's why the boats are docked at the beginning of the ride. Something I did want to point out was the kind of pathway into Jurassic World looks pretty empty, and I don't see any social distance markers. Jurassic World, for the most part, is a pretty new ride, and it does get full really easily, especially during the summertime, because obviously it's the only water ride there, so obviously why not cool off at Jurassic World. And the line can get pretty long, so it's interesting to see that there aren't any social distance markers down where the kind of the walkway up is. Although Jurassic World does have a pretty big ride queue, so I could see how it would be easy to fit like 6 feet social distance markers inside of their whole line. But again, because of that whole 6 feet separation, it probably does eat up a lot of like the ride queue. So we're probably going to be using most of the ride queue, as opposed to normally we only use like the first section or the second section, even the third section sometimes when it gets super busy. But we're probably going to be using all sections now to really get social distance. At least that's what I'm hoping for, just to keep separation and again practice social distancing so that we can be as safe as possible in the parks. We can also see that the rest of the ride, like I said, has water. We can see some of the track is visible because the water line isn't full like all the way. So yeah. Alright, next up, what you're seeing on screen is the Predator Cove area. And like we've been reporting, the area, they have been changing for a while now. Originally, Predator Cove had a pretty gruesome scene, you know, on Universal standards. It had 2 dead pterodactyls, and there was a bunch of blood spewing all over the wall and stuff like that. They are changing that. I'm not 100% sure if that's because of guests complaining or just because they want to switch it up. Again, we do know Jurassic World isn't completely done. They're always building and adding new stuff to the ride. And Predator Cove is definitely an area that I think needed improvement, because, you know, obviously for us, you know, HHN goers, you know, the blood and the dead pterodactyls is like, whatever, okay, cool. But I can see where other people would be like, whoa, that's kind of graphic. But yeah, definitely I think Predator Cove needs a revamp. And as we can see from the footage, we can see that yes, there is a gyrosphere, so they added that one. It also looks like there's like a glass bubble next to it. I'm wondering if that's maybe like a part of the gyrosphere or if that's something else that they're adding there. We can see a lot of like construction tape and stuff like that. Nothing else is happening in Predator Cove. I would hope that they add a couple more dinosaurs in there, just because, like I said, Predator Cove is an area of that ride that needs work. Yeah, I think it just needs work, and it would be cool to have a few more dinosaurs, and something in the Indominus Rex area would be cool too. Alright, next up on the list, we're going to be looking at Nintendo Land. As we can see, a lot of like progress has been done. For the most part, a lot of more structure and foundation has been set on the area, and something that I'm kind of seeing is that we can actually get a picture now of what Nintendo Land is going to look like. Even if you guys look on the screen right where I'm pointing at, it looks like this could potentially be the ride entrance, and this whole area over here could be the queue that leads to the big building, or the ride building. That's just, you know, a thought that I had. I mean, that's what it kind of looks like. As you can see, like, we can take the path all the way through to get to the building. We're also seeing some circles and what looks like just structures that they're placing on the floor that kind of gives us an idea of where things are going to be. You know, possibilities could be fountains, set design stuff like, you know, question mark blocks, piranha plants and stuff like that. And it also just looks a lot bigger than what I imagined it was going to be. I'm going to be changing the screen right now so that you guys can get a better look at what I'm talking about. This looks a lot bigger than what I imagined Nintendo Land was going to be. As we know, we are getting the smallest Nintendo Land, which does suck, but for the most part, it looks pretty decent sized. This area right here does look like it might be like a shop, maybe the, you know, gift shop for the ride or something like that. But for the most part, Nintendo Land does look like it's coming together pretty nicely. Alright, now let's talk about what you all have been anxiously waiting for, and that is HHN construction, and we do have some new updates on HHN. First up, we're going to talk about the Mummy Queue. So as we can see in the video, Mummy Queue has been, you know, being worked on quite a bit. We can see they've gone vertical now. Obviously the tent is up, house has gone vertical, and there is a lot of open space inside of this maze. I'm gonna point out an area right here where it kind of looks like there is no like separation. This all just kind of looks like one area, and I'm wondering if that's because of social distancing or if that's just gonna be like a big showpiece in that maze. I'm interested to find out what maze this is. Unfortunately, Santa Clarita Drone did put in the video that he's not able to get a view on like where the entrance would be. Apparently it's due to winds during the time, but yeah, we're just gonna have to wait and see what the facade is going to be for this maze, and again, what maze this is. Alright, next up we're gonna jump on over to the Metro set to check out some of the construction for Halloween Horror Nights over there. So the first picture you're seeing is the first angle of the Metro set that we're getting, and as we can see, there are two houses being put up, or as Tim puts it, his mega maze. But for the most part, it does look like it's going to be two separate houses. Again, nothing is confirmed. As we can see in the first house, the facade does look like a book, and this could be a number of things. Could it be Creepshow 2? I've heard people saying that this could be the Billie Eilish maze. Apparently she's got a journal with some weird drawings in it and stuff like that. So this could be the facade to either the Billie Eilish maze, possibly Creepshow 2, as we do know that it was renewed for a second season by Shudder. But yeah, let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. What could this maze be? Also, let me know what you guys think the maze behind it is, because for the most part, I can't tell you what it is, because either the facade's on the other side or I don't know. But I mean, it would make sense for the facade to be on the other side, because another thing I wanted to point out about this photo is where's the queue for the maze is going to be. As you can tell, that they're both built pretty close together, and usually the queue that they put for the maze that's usually there is being taken up by the other maze. So I'm wondering where the maze or the line is going to be. What I'm thinking is it's going to follow kind of around this wall right here, but who knows? Nothing is certain. Another thing I did want to point out is besides the two houses back here, there is no other either set design or wood or any props of anything for the Metro set. I'm going to be putting up the next picture of the Metro set, and it looks like I said, there's nothing there. So it looks like we're only going to get two mazes in the back lot Metro set area. Even the area where usually we get like a scare zone is completely empty right now. So it looks like, because of social distancing, I'm assuming we won't be able to have a scare zone back there, and it's going to be very limited back there. Also, there is no maze going up where Krampus area is, or where Ghostbusters is or was. Yeah, so I guess only two mazes for the back lot. That kind of sucks. Again, we were hoping for a big HHN this year, but obviously because of the circumstances that we're in right now, things are going to have to change. HHN is going to have to change, for better or for worse. We're not sure yet, but we're just hoping that the event happens and that people will be able to attend safely and enjoy the event safely. Alright, next up we're going to be talking about the Waterworld area. Definitely I'm going to throw up what the Waterworld area looks like right now. For the most part, I think Waterworld was the first maze that we saw that was being constructed because of Santa Clarita Drone. And for the most part, I want to say that it looks pretty much done. Like the outside, you know, obviously the skeleton of the maze looks pretty much done. Probably the next step is going to be like obviously the interior design and making props and stuff like that for this maze. It looks good though. It looks big. Like, it looks like it's going to be a long maze. As to what it could be, we still have no idea. If you guys checked out the speculation video, they did say that it was going to be Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which I don't know how I feel about that. If you guys want to check out that video, I'll link that on the iCard up in one of the corners. I'm going to give you guys another look at the other side of the Waterworld queue. And again, we can see some of the maze construction, but we can't see a lot. We can see a little bit of facade, but not really. Like I said, for the most part, this maze looks done. They just gotta basically make it look like a maze and make it look pretty. And I mean, check out Waterworld. That water, right? It looks amazing. I could definitely go for a swim in that right now. Also, it's a good question. Is Waterworld going to be a thing when Universal opens up again? Is it going to be limited to how many people? I'm wondering if they're going to be like seat markers, like 6 feet seat markers, because for the most part, in the picture that you're seeing right now, I can't see any seat markers or any social distance markers in this area or even in the seats. But again, that's probably something that Universal's waiting on to do. Again, I would assume a limited capacity is going to be available for Waterworld, but I'm just hoping that Waterworld doesn't close down, and I'm hoping that we're going to be able to experience that again, because I love that show. It's definitely something that I try to make like a must-do whenever I go to the parks. But yeah. Alright, next up we're going to fly on over to Parisian Courtyard and check out some of the HHN construction there. And for the most part, there's nothing there. Yeah, Parisian Courtyard is empty. There is nothing there. And the chairs are still there, the tables are still there. I'm wondering if they're going to be using Parisian Courtyard as a maze this year. You know, by now they would have started construction. I know they can start construction a little later because we're still pretty early on in the year, but for the most part, I would have thought construction would have gone up by now, or at least have a couple of the tents up in that area. But no, it looks like we might not be using Parisian Courtyard yet. Something else I did want to note is French Street is looking empty as well. Usually there's a scare zone there, but from the looks of this picture, it's looking pretty empty. Yeah, tables and umbrellas all still up. I also do not see social distance markers for either Mel's Diner or the Plaza eatery where you get the sandwiches and stuff like that. Although I can't see much from this angle. The tables don't look separated 6 feet, but maybe they'll do like tables are closed off, so every other table will be used. Oh, another thing I did want to point out, the what used to be Gru's Lab Cafe, which is now being rethemed to Minions, there are tables now. Tables, chairs, and what I'm assuming are umbrellas, the kind of red things in the middle. Also, is that a window on the side? Is this gonna be like a drive-through as well, or not a drive-through, but like a counter pickup area? It'll be useful in these like new times, obviously, because of the whole, you know, social distancing and stuff like that. But yeah, it looks like when the park opens up again, we will have a new eatery. Again, I'm still not sure if it's going to be called Gru's Lab Cafe or if it's being rethemed to just Minions. For them, I'm gonna go ahead and say it's gonna be the new Minions restaurant. But yeah, definitely when the park opens up again, we're definitely gonna have to check it out and see if it's the same menu as Gru's Lab Cafe or if they added new things to it. It's exciting. All right, after Parisian Courtyard, we're gonna fly on over to the parking lot area that is behind kind of City Walk. And it's important to note that in this video, or in the photo that you're seeing, there is a lot of wood in this area. What this wood is for, a lot of people are saying that it's going to be used for HHN. So that's why I was saying that Parisian Courtyard may or may not be used this year as a maze area, because there's a lot of wood left in the parking lot. So it could be potentially being used for that maze. Alright, going from the parking lot with the wood, something that I really did not expect to see happen, at least so soon, is there is construction happening on the what was once known as the Whoville Set. That's right, as you can see on the picture on the screen, there are these kind of steel kind of structures that are kind of laid down right now. and what looks kind of like a, I don't know, like a little merry-go-round area on the what used to be the Whoville set. It's interesting. I really didn't think that they would be building something on there so soon. As to what it is, I have no idea. Could it be Whoville Set Part 2, Electric Boogaloo? I don't know. Maybe they're gonna retheme it to another one of the Universal's properties. It'd be cool. I'm just sad to see Whoville Set go. I know it was old, I know it was run down, but just, I don't know, nostalgia, I guess. I think that's what I really liked about the Whoville Set. It was, you know, something classic. Also, if we look over to the War of the World set, there's new pavement that they put down behind the Bates Motel house, or the Bates house. As to what that is, maybe they just wanted to put some pavement down. Maybe it could be something that's going to connect with the Whoville set, because the Whoville set also kind of has fresh pavement. Although on the Bates house pavement, there is a light post in the middle of it. So maybe it's going to be used for parking, or who knows? Maybe it's an area where like the tram can go through. Who knows? Next up, we're going to move on over to the parking lot behind E.T. and Curious George. There is a lot happening in that parking area right there. It looks like a lot of construction and a lot of like resources are being put in that area, like wood and stuff like that. Something I did notice is these two kind of metal-y sections here kind of resemble the metal structure that was in the Whoville set. So this could potentially be for the Whoville set. I don't know. Maybe they're building it here and then they're going to be moving it over to the Whoville set. Only time will tell, really. But this area is being used for a lot of construction stuff, maybe HHN stuff. We don't know, but a lot of stuff's happening in this area. And last but not least, we're gonna go over the studio tour area, the entrance of the studio tour. For the most part, everything looks the same. Obviously the studio trams are still there, waiting for us to hop on in and take us on a magical journey. I can't see if there are social distance markers inside of the line yet. I'm assuming there are, but I can't see at the time. Also, there isn't any foundation or support for HHN mazes in the tram parking lot area, or the tram garage area. Last year we saw that being used for both Pandora's Box and Us. This year, again, like I said, it is pretty early on in the year, but I would have assumed they would have put like the structure where they built the mazes up. But it looks like that the area might not be used this year, which is kind of sad. But, you know, like I said, this year is really weird, and I mean, we're going to be fortunate if we get the event as is, so let's just, you know, play it by ear and see what happens. And that's gonna do it for this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun to make. Definitely shout out to Santa Clarita Drone for putting their video out there so that we could make this video. If you guys like this video, please hit that like button. That helps us out. It lets us know that you guys are into content like this. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing to this channel. Also to TLEV Horror, because we're putting up a lot of content on both channels, and it just keeps you guys in the loop of what's new. We do have social media. Don't forget to check that out. That's TLEV Media all across the board. It's also going to be down in the description of this video. But that's going to do it for me. I've been Josue. Again, thank you guys so much for your continuous support on this channel. I will catch you guys later.